You must have seen two people eating the same amount of rice, same quantity, same time, but one person's blood sugar spikes dangerously high while the other stays completely stable. This difference is not about the rice, it's about what they ate along with it. This is how powerful food is. The right combinations can actually protect your pancreas, slow down your glucose absorption, and prevent the damage that builds silently for years. The wrong combinations can push you toward diabetes, damaged blood vessels, and failing organs, even when your diet looks perfectly normal on paper. Here's the part that concerns me most as a physician. Most people are eating the wrong foods without even knowing it. Over 500 million people worldwide are living with diabetes today. Dogs and hundreds of millions more are in the pre-diabetic stage, completely unaware of that fact. But nature has quietly placed some incredibly powerful ingredients in our own kitchens that can actually help reverse this. Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 powerful kitchen ingredients that slow down glucose absorption, repair your insulin response, and protect your pancreas from years of accumulated damage, and exactly how you should consume them to get the best results. Before we get into the list, I want to hear from you. Do you or someone you love struggle with blood sugar or diabetes? Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. Every single comment get read, and it genuinely helps me understand who I'm speaking to. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Adrian Volker. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell notification right now so you never miss a video. I release new health content every week that could genuinely protect your body. Now let's get into this. How food raises blood sugar. What you need to understand. First, before we talk about these ingredients, let me explain what blood sugar really means. Because once you understand this, everything else becomes very clear. Whenever you eat food that contains carbohydrates, rice, bread, fruits, or certain snacks, your body breaks it down into glucose, a simple sugar that enters your bloodstream and gives you energy. Normally, your pancreas releases a hormone called insulin. This insulin acts like a key that helps glucose move into your cells where it is used as fuel. The problem begins when the food you eat releases glucose too quickly or when your body stops responding properly to insulin. In that situation, sugar stays in your bloodstream longer than it should, causing spikes after meals and gradually leading to insulin resistance and diabetes. Over time, these repeated spikes damage blood vessels, nerves, and organs. This is exactly where the right foods can make a powerful difference. Some foods slow down how fast glucose enters your blood. Some improve insulin action, and some actually protect the organs that control blood sugar balance. Now, let's talk about 4 superfoods that may already be sitting in your kitchen, and that can help you take control of your blood sugar starting today. Walk number 4, fenugreek seeds. If there is one ingredient sitting quietly in almost every kitchen that has a direct and powerful effect on blood sugar, it is fenugreek seeds. You may have seen people soaking fenugreek overnight or adding it to food, but the reason it works goes much deeper than tradition. Fenugreek contains 2 very special compounds that make it uniquely useful for people trying to manage diabetes. The first is a type of soluble fiber called galactomannan. The second is a rare amino acid known as 4-hydroxyisoleucine. When you eat fenugreek, the soluble fiber absorbs water and forms a thick gel-like layer inside your digestive tract. This gel slows down how quickly carbohydrates break into glucose. Instead of sugar entering your blood all at once, the release becomes gradual and controlled. Think of it like placing a speed breaker in front of glucose absorption. Because the glucose enters slowly, your pancreas does not have to release a sudden burst of insulin. And this prevents the sharp spikes that damage blood vessels over time. The second compound, 4-hydroxyisoleucine, works in a completely different way. It directly supports the pancreas by improving insulin response when blood sugar rises. This means your body uses insulin more efficiently instead of overproducing it. Over time, this reduces insulin resistance, one of the main reasons blood sugar remains high in many people even when they try to eat carefully. Fenugreek also slows down gastric emptying, the movement of food from the stomach to the intestine, making glucose release from meals even slower. Many people notice that after adding fenugreek regularly, they feel less sudden hunger and fewer energy crashes during the day. This happens because stable glucose levels prevent those rapid highs and lows that make you crave sugar again. How to consume it? The simplest method is to soak 1 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds in water overnight and consume them in the morning along with the soaked water. Soaking softens the seeds and activates their soluble fiber, making them easier to digest. If chewing the seeds feels difficult, you can lightly crush them or add a small pinch of powdered fenugreek to warm lentils or vegetables during lunch. The key is consistency rather than large amounts. Excessive fenugreek can irritate your stomach. We are halfway through this list, and I hope you're already thinking about which of these ingredients you already have at home. King, if this video is giving you something valuable, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this content reach more people who need it. And tell me in the comments, have you used any of these ingredients before? Which ones? I'd love to know. Now let's keep going because number 2 and number 1 are where things get really interesting. Number 3, jamun seed powder. Most people know jamun or black plum as a seasonal fruit, but the real power for blood sugar control lies inside its seed. Jamun seed powder has been used for generations, not simply because it lowers blood sugar, but because it changes how your body handles carbohydrates from the very beginning of digestion. When you eat foods like rice or bread, your digestive system uses specific enzymes to break starch into glucose quickly. Jamun seeds contain natural plant compounds that gently slow down the activity of these enzymes. Because of this, carbohydrates take longer to convert into glucose. Instead of a sudden surge of sugar entering the bloodstream, the rise becomes more gradual, and this is especially useful for people who struggle with post-meal spikes even when they're careful about their diet. Jamun seed also works differently from fenugreek in its effect on pancreatic function. Certain bioactive compounds in the seed help protect the beta cells of the pancreas, the cells responsible for releasing insulin. Over time, high blood sugar creates oxidative stress that weakens these cells. Jamun seed powder contains natural antioxidants that reduce this stress, allowing the pancreas to respond more steadily instead of becoming exhausted. It also influences how glucose is used at the tissue level. Research suggests that jamun seed compounds improve the way muscles absorb glucose, meaning more sugar is taken up by the cells for energy instead of staying in the bloodstream. This makes it particularly helpful for people who feel fatigue and heaviness after meals, because stable blood sugar prevents those sudden energy crashes. How to consume it. Half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of finely powdered jamun seed can be taken with lukewarm water once a day, preferably after lunch. Taking it after a meal allows it to work directly on the digestion of carbohydrates rather than irritating an empty stomach. Consistency matters more than large amounts, as excessive intake may lead to digestive discomfort. Number 2, cinnamon. Let me explain why cinnamon is not just a spice, but a very specific form of metabolic support for blood sugar control. When you consume cinnamon regularly in small amounts, certain active compounds directly influence how insulin works inside your body. The most important of these are cinnamaldehyde, cinnamic acid, and a group of polyphenols called proanthocyanidin type A polymers. When you eat carbohydrates, glucose enters the bloodstream and insulin has to bind to receptors in your cells. In people with insulin resistance, these receptors stop responding efficiently, meaning glucose stays in the blood longer. The polyphenols in cinnamon improve the activity of an enzyme called insulin receptor kinase, which helps insulin receptors become more active. At the same time, cinnamon reduces the activity of a protein called protein tyrosine phosphatase, which normally weakens insulin signaling. By strengthening receptor activation and reducing the signals that block insulin action, cinnamon allows cells to absorb glucose more effectively. Cinnamaldehyde also influences glucose metabolism through a different pathway. It activates AMPK, adenosine monophosphate activated protein kinase, inside muscle and liver cells. AMPK is often called the body's metabolic switch because it increases glucose uptake and improves energy usage. When AMPK is activated, your muscles pull more glucose out of the blood, reducing post-meal sugar spikes without forcing insulin to work harder. Another action of cinnamon happens in the liver. The liver produces glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis, especially between meals or overnight. Cinnamon compounds help reduce the activity of enzymes involved in this glucose production, which is why many people notice better fasting sugar levels when cinnamon is used consistently. Cinnamon also slows the activity of digestive enzymes like alpha amylase and alpha glucosidase, which are responsible for breaking down complex carbohydrates into glucose. Because these enzymes work more slowly, glucose enters the bloodstream at a steadier pace instead of causing sudden spikes. How to consume it. Use small, regular amounts rather than large doses. About a quarter teaspoon of true cinnamon powder in lukewarm water, herbal tea, or sprinkled into lentils or vegetables works best. Heating it gently during cooking allows its polyphenols to release gradually, making them easier for the body to absorb. Avoid excessive intake as certain varieties of cinnamon contain coumarin, which may stress the liver in high amounts. Before we get to number 1, the ingredient most people use every single day without realizing its power. I want to ask you to do something. Think of one person in your life who is managing diabetes or prediabetes and feels like they've tried everything. Share this video with them right now. The share button is right there. Don't wait. What you share today could genuinely change something in their health tomorrow. Now, let's finish with the most underestimated ingredient on this entire list. Number 1, curry leaves. Now, let me tell you something surprising about an ingredient that most of us use almost daily but rarely think of as blood sugar support. Curry leaves contain natural plant compounds that quietly help your body handle glucose better, especially when blood sugar tends to rise after meals. One of the most important components in curry leaves is mahanambine, along with other carbazole alkaloids like gyrinambine and muriazoline. These compounds work by improving how your cells use glucose. In many people with diabetes, cells become resistant and stop responding properly to insulin. Curry leaf compounds help improve this response so that glucose moves into cells more smoothly instead of staying in the bloodstream. Curry leaves also contain powerful antioxidants, quercetin, beta-carotene, and natural flavonoids. Think of these antioxidants as a protective shield for your pancreas. High blood sugar creates oxidative stress inside the pancreatic cells that produce insulin, and over time, those cells become weaker. The antioxidants in curry leaves reduce this stress and help protect those insulin-producing cells so that they continue working more steadily. Another helpful action happens during digestion itself. Curry leaves have mild fiber and plant chemicals that slow down how quickly carbohydrates break into glucose. This does not block digestion, it simply prevents the sudden rush of sugar into the blood that causes spikes and crashes. Because the rise becomes smoother, many people feel more stable energy levels and fewer cravings between meals. There is also a gentle effect on fat metabolism. Certain compounds in curry leaves help reduce excess triglyceride buildup in the liver. This matters because fatty liver and insulin resistance often go hand in hand. By supporting liver health, curry leaves indirectly make blood sugar control easier. How to consume them? The simplest way is to chew 5 to 7 fresh leaves in the morning on an empty stomach or add them generously to your cooking, lentils, vegetables, or sautéed dishes. Light cooking actually helps release their beneficial compounds while keeping them easy to digest. Consistency is more important than quantity. These 4 ingredients, fenugreek seeds, jamun seed powder, cinnamon, and curry leaves, are not magic pills, but they work when used consistently and correctly. Start small. Soak fenugreek seeds overnight and have them every morning. Take jamun seed powder after lunch. Sprinkle cinnamon into your tea or food. Chew curry leaves daily or add them generously to your cooking. Diabetes doesn't develop overnight, and it will not worsen overnight either. But every small step you take today protects your pancreas and your blood vessels tomorrow. If this video helped you understand your blood sugar in a new way, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments which of these 4 ingredients you're going to start with first. And if there are other ingredients or health topics you'd like me to cover, tell me below. I genuinely take your suggestions into account when planning new videos. If you found this valuable, please do 3 things right now. Hit the like button. It helps this information reach more people who are quietly struggling with their blood sugar without knowing what to do. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already and turn on the bell notification. I release new videos every week on practical, evidence-based health strategies that you can start using immediately. And share this video with someone in your life who is managing diabetes or prediabetes. You might be giving them exactly the information they needed today. I'm Dr. Adrian Volker. As I always say, it's never just a diet, it's always a lifestyle. So stay healthy, stay consistent, and take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.